Hello, it's Robert with EKB. I want to talk to you a little bit about how to select a contractor while staying off TV. The reason I call it that is here in Oklahoma City, News 4, Channel 4 has always had their In Your Corner segment where it seems like way too many people that are on that show are contractors. And I want to talk a little bit about how you can weed out the bad guys and at least try to get off on a better start whenever you're selecting a contractor. The first step in all of this is a background check. How do you do that? On our website, under the resources tab on this article, How to Select a Contractor, you'll find a link that'll take you to the state of Oklahoma's website where you can do a background check for free. Now, if somebody just moved here from Wisconsin, you're not going to find anything on them, but what you want to look for are crimes against property or people. I like to drive fast, so don't look at my speeding tickets, but look for people that have been sued, or look for charge-offs, or even worse, felony, corruption, or things that put them in jail. I am continuously amazed. I've been hiring guys for over 20 years now in our company, and I tell people right up front on our application process, on my ads, when I talk to them, I'm going to run a background check. Is there anything I should know? And they'll always say, no, there's nothing on there. And I'm just surprised at how often I see guys that were, in jail for 3 armed robberies or just all kinds of felony convictions and things. We work inside occupied homes, and so we're extremely picky about who we put inside our customers' houses. And you should be that way as well. Now, that background check, again, before you sign anything, before you have anybody do any work for you, always do that background check. The next thing is insurance. You'll see a lot of companies say, we're bonded, we're insured, we're licensed. Anytime they say that, that's a red flag to me. Bonding is a tool that's used in commercial construction. If you're building a $20 million skyscraper, yeah, you better be bonded. In residential, being a former insurance agent 25 years ago, I've never seen a residential contractor be bonded. Not saying it couldn't happen. If you're building a $3 million house, yeah, you might want to think about a bond, because it's just to make sure that the guy does what he says he's going to do financially. It kind of protects all parties' interests financially. But if you're having your roof replaced or you're having a kitchen remodeled, bonding's not really something I've ever seen or dealt with. It just doesn't happen. But the general liability insurance is a big deal. Now, some people will say, I don't need workers' comp because I'm a one-man show. And they're right. If they're a one-man show, they don't need workers' comp. But they do need general liability insurance. Now, everybody will tell you, all your friends will say, always get insurance. Well, why do they say that? Well, they're telling you that in case the guy burns your house down, you want it rebuilt, right? Wrong. That's not why you ask for general liability insurance. Not why I asked for it anyway. I asked for general liability insurance because if a guy is serious about his business, if he's been in business more than 2 or 3 years, he's going to have general liability insurance. We've had it for 20 years. I pay $300-400 a month for it. I'll be glad to show you a copy of it. But here's the key. If a guy is a drug addict or an alcoholic and he wants to spend all his free money, in the alley buying things, do you think he's going to send $300 a month to State Farm? Doubt it. So by asking for general liability insurance on that very first phone call, when you first call somebody, you're going to screen out a lot of people right there. If a guy doesn't have it, you got to wonder why. Is he not serious about his business? Could he not get it? The insurance company doesn't deem him insurable. Did he just get fired from one job and now he's going to go back to do what he did for his uncle back in high school, which was laying tile, and he hasn't got around to insurance yet? Just always ask for it. It's a great way to screen out professional versus non-professional or questionable contractors, if you will. So always ask for that. One thing you want to do, again, I mentioned asking that right up front on the initial phone call. If you get a guy out your house and he's looking at the project and he's going to give you a bid, and then you remember, oh, I got to ask for insurance. When you ask him for insurance at that point, one red flag is they'll say, you know what, I'll leave a copy in your mailbox tomorrow. I don't have it with me. I didn't bring it. And you'll never hear from them again. They don't want to tell you they don't have it. It's an embarrassment because you called them on it. I need your insurance. So again, ask for that on the very first phone call, and you'll get a lot of different responses right there. And it'll save you time in the long run and definitely heartache. Next, research. I can't stress that enough. You definitely want to do research, and not Craigslist research, not Angie's List research. I'm not a fan of the pay-to-play things like Better Business Bureau. It could be a great organization, but I've seen way too many phone calls where they call me up with a stern voice. You need to call us back. And I call them back and they want $425 to make me an A-rated company. They don't know anything about me. So I'm not a fan of the pay-to-play people, but you can still do research. Go to Houzz, H-O-U-Z-Z. If you've never been on there, check us out on Houzz. We have over 100,000 photos have been saved Our photos have been saved over 100,000 times on Houzz already, which is a great accomplishment. And then look at the reviews. But what you're looking for when you do this research is you're looking for real photographs and real reviews. If somebody's happy, most people don't say anything. Some do, but if somebody's angry, a lot of people will lash out. So look at the negative reviews and kind of get a feel for what that company's tolerance level is for customer satisfaction and quality through their reviews, and how they respond to negative reviews. The other side of that coin is the positive reviews. We get about 3 emails a month asking if I want to buy reviews. For $100, I can buy 10 positive reviews on Google. So Google does not police reviews, and so you got to be very careful with the public reviews. Look for the meat and potatoes. When you see a review that says, these guys are great, those guys can do anything, I'd let them in my house again. 1 or 2 sentences, that's most likely a paid review. Not always, but most likely. When you see 3 paragraphs where they talk about Brenda and Megan came up with ideas that the builder hadn't even thought of, meat and potatoes. Those are real reviews. I'm very proud to say every review you see on us is a real review, and I can give you that contact's name and phone number, and you can call them up and ask them about their experience. Next, you want to ask a lot of questions of the person. I would start off with, if you're having something big done, like a big architectural type project, building a new home, doing an add-on, let's say you had some redesign work done and you hired an architect to do it. How well do the people work together? Has this contractor ever worked with that architect? Has that architect ever dealt with this type of a project before? Are there multiple people in there? If you're doing something interior, relaying the kitchen, for example, or space planning it, do they have experience with space planning? Or are they, just getting into the business? One red flag I see a lot of times on some of the kitchen and bath companies here in town is if you look at their sources, their vendor list, a lot of times they'll have roofing companies listed. Why is that? Well, because we haven't had really good hailstorms in the last 5 years. And so a lot of roofers got into kitchen remodeling. Well, do you really want that? You have to decide that. So you got to think about that. Next question is, who is responsible for what? If something didn't get installed the way you thought, who's accountable for that, and what are they going to do to make it right? I just had a phone call about a month ago from a gentleman that said that they wanted their oven placed about 14 inches off the floor to the bottom of the oven to raise it up just a little bit, a wall oven in their kitchen, so that his wife could easily access it, open the door and get the ingredients out and that sort of thing. When the cabinet showed up, it was all the way down, 4 inches off. It was on the very bottom of that cabinet. And he called us because the contractor told him that's code. And I said, no, I don't think that's code. You need to call him on the carpet on that one. So who's responsible for making it right, and will they make it right? I see a lot of people that will back down, customers will back down, and they'll say, well, he was trying his best, or that sort of thing. Don't make it excuses. You're paying for it. If you don't like it, tell them, make it right, make sure that they make it right. Next is control. Who's going to make the decisions? Does the contractor come in and tell his electrician where he wants the can lights in your kitchen remodel? Or does he let the contractor, the electrician, knock on the door at 8 in the morning and say, Mrs. Smith, where do you want your can lights? Most of the time, the electricians do what they've always done, which is illuminate the walkways. If you look at almost every house out there, go to the parade of homes, go to the show homes, and you'll notice that the electricians are putting the can lights where you walk. Well, what does that do? That puts a shadow, because now you're getting hit in the back of the head with a can light and you got a shadow on your countertop. Look at our kitchens. We're extremely specific with everything we do. We put our can lights over the countertop, not over the walkways. And then Brenda and Megan will strategically place those can lights, or the wafer lights, where they fall on the face of the cabinets to best highlight the cabinet, so you get the wow factor with it. So in our control systems, we want to know where those can lights are going, and we instruct our electricians where to put them. We instruct the plumber how high the shower valve is going to go and how high the shower head is going to go in the showers. We instruct our tile guys how the layout is going to be in the tile. We control everything. So whenever you're asking a contractor, a lot of general contractors, for example, that come up through the new construction method, they just let those trades decide what's best. And what's best has always been what they did before, because that's always worked for them. So always talk about that. Next is, how specific do you want to be with their training and testing? There's a lot of licensed trades out there, electricians, plumbers, heat and air, But when you get to some like roofing and builder's license, there's no test for that. It's just a registration. Our design team is licensed and registered, Brenda and Megan. That's a 3-day exam. So they have a stricter license that's harder to get, that you have to qualify for, than builders do in this state, which is completely backwards to me. But that's the law, and that's what you get to live with. But you always want to ask, what type of training do you have? What type of experience do you have? In 20 years, we've made a lot of mistakes, but we always fix them. And we've learned a lot over 20 years. When we designed our showroom down at Hahn Appliance, which you need to go check out, 3947 West Reno, that's over 6,000 square feet of showrooms in there. We put in over 130 appliances into those displays. And so we've spec'd out everything to the 16th of an inch where everything's going to be placed. So yeah, we've paid our price for the learning curve, and we have a lot of exposure and a lot of experience in that regard. Speaking of the showroom, the next question you want to ask is, can I see your work? A lot of guys will show you pretty pictures. Well, they're going to show you the best, just like I do on my website. When you look at our website, every picture you see on there are real jobs that we did. I can take you out to that customer's house and show it to you. So come see their work. Do they have a showroom where you can see things that are going on inside the showroom? What's the quality of the finish work, the quality of the tile work, just everything that they've done? Do you like it? A lot of times you won't be able to see their work if they're working out of a truck, or if they just don't have anything to show you. And so you got to, take that with kind of a cautionary moment. Is that something you want to be more specific of? Next question is, what kind of drawings or renders should you anticipate, and can I see an example of them? Some companies, some cabinet shops will give you black and white stick figure drawings. I think that's still what Lowe's and Home Depot do in a lot of cases. The better ones might do some colors. With ours, we do full-on renders. Look at Our Work tab on our website, and then click on the board, and you'll see some samples there. Those are developed in-house. Brenda and Megan are our chief designers, and then in addition to that, we've got 3 other ladies that do our CAD work. And so they're doing all of those renders so that you can see it. I had a customer ask me one time, how often do clients ask you for a drawing? How often do they ask you for a render? And I told them, well, we see it the other way around. Renders are there to eliminate mistakes. Renders are there to provide peace of mind. When you see a render, you know what you're getting. You know what it's going to look like before we ever start swinging hammers. So it removes that doubt and that anticipation, that uneasiness of what's going to happen. Furthermore, we can show that render and the specs and the cutaway drawings or whatever we need to every member of our trades that are coming in and going throughout your house, so everybody knows what we're building. We hold everybody in our system to a very high level of expectation for standards of quality and cleanliness and building science and everything that we do inside your home. And so by having these drawings, these renders, and these cutaways, we can show that. We've got a big job going in Ponca City. It was a huge house, ICF home. And for that one, the framer came in and met with Brenda and Megan, and we were able to dissect some walls and show him some of the design elements that Brenda and Megan created for that house, and show him how they need to be framed and how we wanted them constructed. So it's a very valuable tool. Those drawings are invaluable. It's not just something, piece of paper, pencil sketch, that we hand people just to get an idea. We want to see it done first before we start doing the work. Next is the chemicals they're going to use in your house. If you're doing cabinetry or woodworking, make sure you read the article on our website, Why the Finish Matters. In this market, everybody still shoots nitrocellulose lacquer, which is garbage. It's a junk finish. I don't like that product at all. Ask them, what kind of finish are you going to spray in my house, on my cabinets, or on my woodworking? Because there's good, better, and best. Sherwin-Williams sells them all, but I would encourage you to read that article so that you make sure you get the right one. The next question is price. What kind of price are they giving you? I've seen bathroom bids come in half of our price before, and you start looking at it, they didn't include paint the walls. They didn't include drywall work. They didn't include covering up all the carpet to the front door and protecting the rest of the house. So there's apples to apples or apples to oranges. There's a lot of things that company missed on their bid. I've also seen designers, we did a lot of work for designers for years, independent designers, and I saw a couple of designers that they would tell a customer, that faucet's $350, and the customer's like, yeah, let's do it. Well, then the customer gets the realization that the plumber is also $250 that's got to put that faucet on. So incomplete bids lead to a lot of anxiety because all of a sudden you're spending twice what you thought. So how complete is that price? Is it just a guess, or is it a final, this is the number price with all stones overturned, everything in there. So we like to do a comprehensive system where there is nothing that we don't put in there. It's all in there. In fact, even if we haven't selected it yet, we're going to put a dollar amount on our bid so that we know there's going to be a pendant light or there's going to be LED, under cabinet lighting, and we know approximately how much those are going to cost. Even if you haven't selected it yet, we've got dollars in there for that. The last thing is probably experience. Sometimes experience is a little overrated, but at the same time, you definitely want somebody that's fallen off the bike a few times. There's a bathroom remodeler here in town. I won't say their name, but there's a bathroom remodeler that in about a 2-month span, about 2 years ago, they developed 120 reviews, positive reviews, 5-star reviews on Google over the span of 2 months. If you research those reviews, because I had to, I was just curious, they all came from Bethany. Most of them came from one location in Bethany. So again, you can buy reviews. When you look at the pictures on their website, they had a shower floor that somebody had recently taken a shower in, that the drain's in the center, which I like linear drains, not the center. Take a look at that. But then there was ponds on either side of it. Whoever laid that tile wasn't experienced. They laid a rolling floor, and so it was holding water on either side of the drain. Within probably 3 months, you're going to have big white spots right there on the floor from the calcium deposits and mineral deposits. So they need an experienced tile setter to know you want a continual slope to the drain. Now that's tile 101, but whoever set that tile definitely didn't have any experience. So yes, experience is vitally important, especially in a remodel situation, because the builder's already done it once and now you're going in, ripping everything out and starting over again. So you definitely want to ask, what kind of experience do you have? What kind of experience do you have in the design side? What kind of experience do you have with moving walls and putting in beams or jackhammering the floor? And just kind of grill them a little bit, because you're about to spend a lot of money. You don't want to have all the heartache, and you definitely don't want to show up on TV. So that's it. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to give me a call anytime. We love to talk to people. Even if you're not going to use us, we know we're not the right fit for everybody, but at least we'll get you started on the right foot. Thanks for watching.